Stock market today analysis for Aloha Monday, April 24th, 2023. You can check out this website. There's a link in the description, or just type it into your browser. It's pretty easy to remember. ihavesuccess.com. I Have Success is all about helping you sell cash secured put options on stocks you'd be happy to own. Because basically, if you have an internet connection, a bank account, and you spend money at least once a year, you have no legitimate reason not to be doing this. If you're not doing anything else successfully in the stock market, do this. At the 1 minute mark, there's going to be a link to a video popping up right here. And that video will explain to you the unfair advantage of selling cash secured put options on stocks that you don't mind owning. I put it at the 1 minute mark, so it's going to be easy for you to remember. It's going to be popping up right here, right now, right? You saw that. There's free stuff. There's paid stuff. Take a look at that. I'm in Arizona right now for a few days for this convention, and it's going to be starting. I'm still on Hawaiian Standard Time Zone right here, but it's 1:42 p.m. in Arizona, and it's going to be starting at 3, so I got to get ready for that. So we're going to fly through this. And a little bit of this is just a lot, maybe more than a little bit, but a lot of this is kind of for me to make sure I'm checking certain things that I want to be checking. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 events happening this week, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, that could have a big impact on the stock market. We see we got roughly about 50-50 advancing and declining. More hitting new lows, 60%. I mean, that's significant, right? That's 10% over half, and then 55, almost 56% below the 50-day moving average, and a little over 55% below the 200-day moving average. We see we got a mixture of red and green over here in the heat map. I look through these headlines. There's nothing I feel like talking to you about. I look through here. There's nothing I feel like talking to you about. Get into here because we do have a bit of, like, at least for the day, right? It's a little bit of an indecision, but it's a little bit more on the positive side. Right here, we definitely see some indecision, more on the negative side. These two are close to being dojis, but for some reason, the what used to be considered the fear index, the VIX, volatility index, it's low. So either there's really not much worry in the market, or the VIX is not an accurate indicator of fear anymore. Could be one of those two things. The dollar is starting to just kind of move sideways. Keep in mind, all these little charts we're looking at here, they're 1 month, 1 day. So on the month, dollars seems to be stabilizing a little bit, moving sideways. TLT, 20-year treasury bonds, a representation of it, moving up a little bit in this range right here. Gold just a little bit below 2,000, but if it keeps building and hanging out in this range, that would be potentially bullish. Oil pulled back a bit, and let's see where we're going to make a new base. Might possibly be at the mid to higher 70s. Bitcoin pulling back just a tad bit. Granted, this is the Bitcoin futures. And it seems to be catching some support right around that 27,000 area. Again, not a whole lot of action in our major indices. Let's look at the 12 different sectors, see if anything is noteworthy here. Okay, got the consumer discretionary popping up a little bit. Just take a look at that volume. Energy coming up. Let's go over here and look at the 10 stocks that have the most weight for the 4 different indices. This is the S&P 500. We've got to see what's going to happen around this area. As I've been saying before, it's like we're pretty much kind of have this range between 420 and like 380. So we need to see, what it's going to do between there. As you can see, for a while here it got a little bit below 380, but then it rallied back up. And it's not just 380, the exact number, but more of a range. You see when it gets close to, in the last 6 months, when it got close to 420, it went a different direction. And right now, looks like we're having a hard time getting up to the 418. We're pulling back just a little bit. So let's take a breakdown. I know Apple was down a little bit today. This is where it was down here, but came back. Seems to be maybe building some base around 165. Apple's one of the few stocks that's keeping everything up. Microsoft definitely got this doji-ish action, and looks like it's catching that support at 280. Amazon attempting to get over this 200-day moving average. This will be pretty interesting to see what happens. Is it going to be a repeat of this? Meta, it's pulling back, but unless it really starts breaking this, then we'll look again. I see that being it's catching some support right in there. If it starts breaking down here, and definitely the next place in this kind of $10 range, somewhere in here, if it starts violating the 200, but this would be the first little area. What number is that anyways? That is about somewhere around 208. If it starts breaking 208, then we have to see what happens around 200. But at the moment, I'm not really concerned about it breaking down. Google gets the unfair advantage of being in here twice. And looking relatively the same. Now, whereas it couldn't stay above the 200-day moving average here, it is currently staying above the 200-day moving average here. Berkshire Hathaway was in the sideways range for a while, broke out of here, and it looks like we might have the beginning of another sideways range, with maybe this 320-ish being the support for that. Tesla broke down. We'll see if this area right in here, at the moment it looks like this area right here could be the new resistance. Let's see if that works out. Really looks like some institutional type of selling. Whatever this volume spike was there, it probably wasn't people like you and I. And volume is kind of pulled back into normal area. Nvidia still looks like it could go sideways for a little while, or potentially resume some bullishness. Let's see if it's going to break out of this range. I see a kind of an easy to watch range being about this $20 range from about 280 to 260. JP Morgan Chase really getting caught in this resistance right through there. Now we'll look at the Qs next, but most of the 8 to 10 stocks overlap in the Qs in the S&P 500. The only two that are not in the S&P 500 are PayPal and Adobe. Okay, so we'll just look at those real quick while we're here, and then look at the Qs. Yeah, basically going sideways. You see, it really seems to be hitting some resistance around that, maybe 380-ish. PayPal continuing just to go sideways. And what's the overall look of the Qs? Doing the sideways shuffle at the moment right now, with about 315 seem to be the support, and around 320-ish. It's like it's in a $5 range at the moment. Move on over to the diamonds, Dow Jones. Yep, hitting right here, not breaking through that resistance. United Health Group failed. They had this breakout failure over the 200-day moving average, came back down here, and back down into this range. Goldman Sachs breaking out above the 200-day moving average. Let's see if that is going to last. If it does stay above the 200-day moving average, there's a good chance it'll get stuck in this range right here. That's pretty wide. So what would be a little more narrow? Well, from here to here we see is a bit of a range. From whatever about the 340 to the 380. I wouldn't doubt if it gets kind of stuck somewhere in there. Is Home Depot making a recovery yet? Oh, waiting for data. There we go. It's trying to make a recovery, but at the moment it is not sustaining to get to the upside. You're passing through that 200-day moving average and staying on the upside of that. Microsoft, I think we already looked at that one. Yep. Salesforce. Looks like it's having some trouble at that $200 point. And McDonald's still cooking along, hit an all-time high or 6-month high today. Honeywell is, how is Honeywell looking? Let's see if it's going to stay, which side it's going to stay on to the 200-day moving average. Right now, I could see it going either way. I mean, obviously it is on the top side of the 200-day, but it's not looking super strong. But so let's see how that goes. Amgen made it out of that 200-day and just couldn't stay on the top side of it. Now it's back. Going to start testing that 240 and it'll probably catch some support right in there. Boeing, this one looks like Berkshire Hathaway and McDonald's before they start having this run to the upside. So let's see what ends up happening with that. And we're going to finish this up with looking at IWM for the Russell 2000. So we're basically moving sideways. You can see in the last 6 months we've been in this range before. It wasn't as sideways before. Here we had more of a sideways amount. This one, we in this range from about here to here, which makes some sense. Now the range is kind of tightening up, and it's moving to the upside of this range from about 180 to 170. So now we're about 175 to 180 in that range. Let's see if it keeps moving on the upward. AMC still looking like, I guess, bearish, sideways to bearish. Shockwave. Let's see what's going to go on. It's testing. We're staying in the top, definitely in the top 50% of the body of this candle. If it remains to that top side, it'll probably start either moving up more or building a base with maybe a 280 being the support. Biohaven, just moving sideways at the moment. Really not having an easy time breaking above that $15. Intelia, has that bit of that AMC look to it still. Not looking anything spectacular. Crocs, another one that made a 6-month all-time high. Really strong looking candle. Looks like prices were just pushing all the way up to the top. Pulled back just a little bit from about 32 cents, 51.32 cents to 151.13 cents. Peak in the volume there, so some kind of entity with big bucks was probably in there buying up some Crocs. Over here with Chart Industries, looks like it's trying to move up and test this 140. Let's see how well it does that. Karuna Therapies, testing this 200, but I don't mean the 200-day moving average, but yes, it is also testing the 200-day moving average and the 200 price point. Seems to be getting stuck in there at the moment. We'll see how that goes. Apelios is looking strong. So what is that telling me? Hey, you know what? I put in a bunch of orders to sell covered calls on stocks that I had expire worthless last Friday. So I'm waiting to get filled on some of those. None got filled in this trading day, but that's okay. I bumped the premium up just a little bit, and over the next couple days while I'm here in Arizona, we'll see if I get filled on that. If not, by the time I get back to Hawaii, I'll adjust it and sell some. Again, if you want some, you want to learn how to do this type of trade where it doesn't really take a whole lot of time. Basically, it's not, you ever heard people say it's simple but not easy about, something, I don't know, multi-level marketing? They'll tend to say that it's so simple but not easy. Well, this is the opposite. This is easy, but it's not simple. It's got a lot of moving parts to it, and you definitely, that's basically it. There's a lot of stuff to learn in the beginning. There's a lot of moving parts, but once you learn it and you understand what's going on, it's easy. This is something you can do the rest of your life without needing to put a whole lot of effort into it. Once you put that initial effort in to learn how to basically fundamentally analyze a company, how to what a put option is, how to sell it, how you can use the delta, how to look at the charts a little bit and have an idea of what's going on, how to sell a covered call, and then depending on what, how much maintenance you want to put into it, and how long you want to keep the stock for. You can either do this more of like building up a portfolio to have for like the rest of your life or long term, or you can kind of do more of the wheel strategy. To learn more about this stuff, check out the free stuff, and if you want to pay me a little bit of money and have me help you one-on-one, then check out this stuff. In the meantime, I gotta start getting ready to go to this event. Aloha.